We're playing Farming Simulator 19 on Estancia, Lapacho. So let's get going and let's jump to wherever our farm is. Oh, that's a train. That's a farm. Let's figure out where we got up to. Okay. For some reason I've decided to grow wheat. Oh no, didn't we just harvest something? It's just been harvested, so we now need to prepare that field. That's still growing. That needs ploughing. We're going to have to do that sometime, and it needs fertilizing too. Okay, what are we set up for? You're set up to sow. Okay. Let's pick something other than wheat. I have no idea how popular canola is in the South Americas, but I'm thinking we'll go for that. Start the engine. Thing. There's my picture up on the right there. Okay, start the harrow. Lower the seeder. Start the seeder. Let's roll. It's a lot easier with GPS. But that's not an option here, so we'll drive as straight as we can and lift those. Turn around. Now with this setup, I really don't want to overlap by too much, because the cultivator, which is the front bit, is going to rip the seed out of the ground, and then the back bit's going to put seed back in, so you end up using more seed with this setup than you would under a normal see, if you run around with just a seeder, it lays seed wherever there isn't seed in the ground. I missed a bit over there. Whereas a cultivator does rip up what's already in the ground. Hey birds, get off my lawn. Stick this on the helper. Going to do the other field. What do we need to do? Off you go. Okay. Needs ploughing, no weeds, 50% fertilizer. What do we have in the tank? Oh, there's nothing in there. Okay. Let's get ourselves some fertilizer, assuming we have some. Looks like the fertilizer's on this side. Wasn't a lot. In theory, this one's full. Oh, stop. Go forwards. Okay. I'm going to need a plough. So I might run down and get the culti-plough for the coon pack. Then I can run that along with the cultivator on this field once it's finished growing. Whoa, trees. Okay. Move it over a little. Missed a bit. It didn't change my stream game to Farm Sim 19. I should do that. Huh. There we go. That says Farm Sim 19 instead of Farm Sim 17. I have moved all of my stream videos over to YouTube. The links at the bottom or under the stream display, and I've even organised them into playlists so you can catch the entire story. Although I must admit, when it comes to YouTube videos, I'm really not into watching 4-hour videos at a time, and I haven't got the setup to split them at the moment. Once I get a video editor, I'll start streaming and recording so that I can take local recordings and split them. Just a little bit at the front again. This field isn't great for the width of this sprayer. There's always going to be a bit of overlap. So there's always going to be some wastage one way or another. So we're down to 57,000. Clock's running at ×5. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Done. Fold. No, that's fold. Okay. We'll go and empty the fertilizer. Well, should we empty the fertilizer from this? Because we're going to want to fertilize the field we currently planting at the moment. Now I'll keep this thing loaded, put the rest of the fertilizer in it. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower that there. Now I have heard that one of the things you need to do is not park anything in the vicinity of the chicken coop or they will never lay eggs. Once they've started laying eggs, you're fine, but until that starts happening, you kind of want to park everything away from the coop. Go all the way around. You also need to get a bucket and clean up the food area, even though it's not got any food in it. Or, yeah, the overspill's not full. So we have water in case we need it. Now I'm going to need the Valtra N with a shovel to clear that up. Just drop that there, we'll go and buy ourselves a plough. Do I have a bucket? I have a bucket, okay. So, as is common, let's go to the store. I don't need to buy it now, this minute, but it would be nice to have it on hand, and I don't have enough work for both tractors to do right now. I do have a weight on the front of this, okay. should have been taking that. I might have to go back and look at the volume of wheat we pulled off that field 12 and how much we made on it, and then compare that to what comes out as canola when that field readies. Although then again, I'm not sure we had the field fully. Nah. Okay, I need to start taking notes from now onwards. But I need the fields to be in the same state, so I want them 2 stages of fertilisation, no ploughing penalty, no weed penalty, no and the lime bonus as well, because that'll give us a fair indication for the field size how much how much product we're going to produce for each crop type, and then also how much money we make on it. So I don't think there's anything to take home yet, no. That's mostly awesome. Let's stop here. And that subsoilers, and we'll get that one. I could get the other one because I think that works just as well. This panning round doesn't work. Oh, that does. Okay. Joystick mapping works. So that has a 3-point hitch on the back. Back. And so does that one. I might save myself $500 and buy that one instead. Not that I expect to use it that frequently. Yeah, never mind. Okay. We have that thing. I didn't notice the horsepower requirements for this one. Always a good thing to check, because it does mean it does go into the equation of what can what pull. I think for the most part, when you're buying land on this, you want to purchase land which has as much field area within it as possible. Because if you buy land with a lot of waste space, then you're not maximising your income potential. However, I don't think I'm too disappointed with the land I've bought, because I can always chop the trees down, make some money that way. Anyway, here we are back by 12. Worker is almost to the end of that field, so I could probably hitch back up to the fertilizer and start that job. They've done quite nicely with the change in grades on the natural map, for the most part. Yeah, if you're driving down the road, it doesn't suddenly change angle to 45-degree climb or whatever, which the old Farm Sim 17 maps used to do. When placing objects down, it's not quite safe. Oh, there's something to dig up. It's not quite as friendly, shall we say. I mean, those buildings I've placed down just don't sit square with the ground, and they have some wicked ramps up and down each side. Okay, once again, didn't line up quite right, so we'll try that again. Probably want to overlap a little because of, once again, not sure how wide this field is compared to the crop sprayer. So, that's on. Start spraying, let's go! Now, once this job is done, I could probably start looking for some contracts. I could do either weed killing or fertilizing. Just run around with this little tractor, since it's all set up right now. $300 per hour to seed this field, because we had an alert come up just as we were heading off to the store. Go, and let's do this strip, and once this is done we'll need to wait for the Valtra to finish seeding. Whoa, don't drift too far, or we'll leave a gap. doesn't matter if we overlap because there's just not enough space on this field for all of it. So, field 12, take off the plough, and that is now fully fertilised. It's nice to see the other farmers do that too. Now that field just came off having potatoes. Don't know what the state of it is. Withered. Oh. That's sad. So let's check the contracts, what's out there. Field 4 weeding. That needs a weeder. So there's two levels of weeds. Level 1 can be treated by a weeder and a sprayer with herbicide. Level 2 can only be dealt with herbicide. Now, in addition to that, when you look at a field, it just says weeds 100%, whether they're level 1 or level 2. Because the penalty is basically weeds on the field. Oh. What are you doing? Oh, there's a tiny little strip along the end. Okay, you're going to do that, are you? So we can now actually turn around and follow him. I think we're both going about the same speed. Looks like I might be going a little bit faster, but not significantly so. We should be able to slip right underneath there. Close enough. Let's back up a little, because I can't remember which one. Oh yeah, that would have been unfortunate. So I'll drive back to the over here. I'll fill it up with the rest of the fertilizer and then unload it if I need to. $2,080. That is really unfortunate. Okay, engine off. Let's jump back to the Valtra. To drop the whole back end. Whoops, I really should lower them before I drop them. Pick this thing up at the front. better and get that on the back. Yay, okay. Now someone was saying you can't empty a seeder. I think you can. Okay. So, yes, it's possible to empty a seeder. And that's right. Okay. We'll move over a bit. And connect all that together. Okay, so that's a full 4 metre field preparation kit. And I'll put all of those there. And then because I can't run all of them together, okay, we will lower that. We'll move forward a little bit. Okay, we will then lower those lowered. And then we'll drop. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, let's try that again. We will lower that, and then we will drop the entire deck. There we go. Then I'm going to put the seeder on the side, or the seed hopper on the side, so that I can get in there and grab the plough and cultivator alone if I need to. That's really just for an efficiency of parking. Okay, we'll drop the forks and we'll pick up the bucket. Like that. Very uncomfortable rise there. Okay. Dig up the wheat. And that should be clean animals, and from what I hear they should start laying eggs now. Okay, I'm not set up for... Oh, drove that too far. That, drop the bucket. Back up a tad and stop. Move forward a bit. Drop the fork. There, the arms. And we'll reverse back and stick the tractor in this bay here. At least for now. Might get it straight back out depending on what job I decide to take. So, jobs. Let's take a look at what we've got. Harvesting, 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 sowing, fertilising. What does field 15 look like? That big one there. It's not far, straight down the road. Yeah, I think I might do that one. Field 15. Accept contract. Thank you. So that is mostly full of fertilizer. It would be nice if the placeables could be placed at a very, very, very slight angle. Nothing too severe, but just enough so that it doesn't do major ground deformation. So, field 15. I don't think that's this one. 13 is ahead. $15 should be the next field down. I may need more fertilizer, I don't know. Nice thing about seriously, yes, low. Nice thing about this fertilizer is it's quite a large capacity. The problem is it doesn't have a front tank that makes the capacity even larger. So let's get fertilizing. Oh, now we do have the Kverneland tiny solid fertilizer was modded in yesterday. Only has a 700 litre capacity. And narrower than the rest working width, but it is good for tiny fields. Tend to find most of the seems most of the kit is really big. There's not much in the way of help when it comes to small fields. Playing on Arthur's multiplayer yesterday, he bought one big tractor and one medium-sized tractor and two small tractors, and the small tractors really weren't much use for anything but ferrying stuff from the store, because all the equipment he got a 6-meter seeder, which needed significantly more horsepower to run than either of the small tractors could deliver. So I ended up, fortunately the field he bought was on a slope, so I ended up seeding going downhill. And then I had to drive all the way back up to the top of the hill with the seeder turned off to actually make any headway. So it's definitely a good idea to watch what you have in the way of horsepower in your tractors and what your equipment needs. You can get away with it if you're going downhill, but if you're going uphill, I was just spinning wheels. Just could not get any traction. The other problem was the tractors he bought didn't have a front 3-point hitch, and so we could only use the rear seeder sprayer tank. Oh, hi Nick Reagan, how you doing? It's definitely very pretty. I took a screenshot last night of a tractor with the spray on it on the back, looking straight at the rising moon as the sun was setting, and you can barely make out the tractor because there is a lot. Yeah, there is no direct light on the side of the tractor from where I took the photo. So you can get some very what's the word for it? You can get some very nice pictures, let's say that. Far better than you could in Farm Sim 17. But at the moment the game isn't all suns and rainbows. It does have teething issues. Some people feel that the teething issues we have really shouldn't happen on a game that's technically that mature. Yeah, it's not really like they've completely rewritten it. It's an enhancement over the last version. Possibly similar to the way Train Sim does an incremental release every year, and they don't make great leaps and bounds. I mean, this year they kind of did, because they released a 64-bit engine as part of the game, which you can use if you want to. But yeah, as far as all the extras goes, the assets work on every variant, every version of the game. So you don't have to buy your DLC over again for the new version. Now, Train Sim World is a completely different game, designed from the ground up. And that did have issues. In my world, the specific issues were I was getting seconds per frame instead of frames per second. And when you're playing a simulator and the screen is redrawing every 2 seconds, that's kind of unplayable. Now, since I tried out Train Sim World, I have got a newer PC which is probably capable of running Train Sim World at 60 frames a second. I just haven't bought the game. I'll probably hold off buying it until it's cheaper. Christmas sale or something like that. But it only came out, I think it only came out at the beginning of this year, so it's not really something that is likely to get a big discount. Now, Train Simulator, even the new releases, they tend not to sell cheap because it's coming with a bunch of new maps. So you pay full price for them, but you're paying full price for a game that has to, you know, paying full price for a game where the maps combined cost more than the game. So it's not a big deal. You get the incremental release free if you already own the game, but you don't get the maps. And just before, you know, Train Sim 19 comes out, they usually have about a couple of weeks of Train Sim 18 being sold for $4 or $5. So that's kind of funny because, you know, oh, I'll buy the earlier, you know, last year's version for $5 and then get a free upgrade to the new version. I just don't get the maps in the new version. Not that I'm complaining. We've used half a tank, we're over half the field done, so not bad. A tank of fertilizer I think is $2,400 and we're going to get paid $8,000, so this will cover our expenses and then some. Be careful on the overlap though, because I want to get the field done in as little fertilizer usage as possible, because that all comes out of my pocket. If you lease their equipment and the equipment still has fertilizer in, then you get refunded for the fertilizer in it, but you don't get refunded for the fertilizer you use. So I'm using as much fertilizer here as I would leasing the equipment. Since I'm all set up for fertilizing on this tractor, I might as well stick to it. Now the contracts, oh, I was talking about contracts for weeding. When they're stage 1 weeds, you have to use a weeder on the contract. That's what they're calling for. I haven't tried using a herbicide on it, but I'm guessing it's not going to be too happy. However, when the weeds get to stage 2, the mission will be spray rather than weed. Doing fertilization always says fertilization, and you can use manure and slurry. Possibly digestate, I'm not sure. It doesn't. I can't remember if it says you can. And then solid or liquid fertilizer. So you've got a choice. If I had a solid fertilizer, I have a solid fertilizer. But if I had some solid fertilizer to put in my solid fertilizer, then I could have done this with that. It seems that most of the contracts pretty much cover what's available. Yeah, the full gamut of field work. So you've got weeding, you've got spraying, you've got fertilizing. I think you've got ploughing. You've definitely got cultivating, and then you've got sowing as well. So everything you can do on your own field seems to be a contract. The only thing I haven't seen them need is lime. But then I haven't gone far enough in on any of my maps so far to get to a point where I've harvested a field 3 times and the local farmers have done pretty much the same, and now their fields are all saying you need to lime this. are we doing? 500, just under 600. Not sure if we'll have to go all the way down to the end or whether this we'll get a message saying we're done halfway down. In general, I'm happy with how the game plays. As I said, a couple of teething problems, some of which have affected me. Okay. Saving contents, 99%. Oh, turn around and spray for about 10 seconds. We're done. There we go. Field 15 is finished. Let's fold that thing up and get paid. So almost 9,000. That's kind of nice. So harvesting, harvesting, sowing, sowing, harvesting, fertilizing. Field 25, that's a small field. Harvesting, 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 sowing, sowing. Baling. Huh. You want me to do that with one of those and one of those? I'm thinking maybe no. So was there a fertilizing? Fertilizing field 25. Oh, that one over there. And we have to go by the store. How much fertilizer do we have? 390. I am definitely going to have to refill. Yeah, let's do that. Fertilizing field 25, accept the contract. Now, quick explanation of why I'm doing that. I'm going to have to go by the store and refill this tank. And the tank, the refill container is 2,000 litres, and the tank supply on this fertilizer is 2,200. So I'm going to end up with 190 left at the store. Now, if I nip over to field 25 and spray that field, I will be able to completely empty the tank at the store. I'm gonna fill up anyway on the way there, so I don't have to come back to the store if I don't get the entire field done with what I've got loaded. But since I'm gonna have to drive past the store anyway to get on the road back to my farm, I don't think it's too much to come back and fill up and then go home. So, where was it? Field 25, which is straight across the river from the store. And the bridge across that river is opposite field 24. Okay. There's a road there. I wonder where that goes. I wonder where I'm going. Okay. So this field that we're going to already has one stage of fertilization. That is going to mean that it's going to be partially grown at least. Fortunately, we already have the care wheels on. Wow, traffic very slow here. Turn signal. Let's pull in here. And let's buy IBC of fertilizer, 2400, very expensive stuff. There we go. Here with this, the engine revs up when it's filling up the tank. So while there's no hoses still, at least not that I'm aware of, the tractor is running the pump. Okay, back on the road, let's go find a bridge. So I don't think I would normally use this tractor, but since I've gone for sort of a partial mod review, whoa, just beat the train. Yeah, first couple of mods that came out with this farm map I had loaded and I am using. So, over the bridge, admire the view. So, there's no way back across the river from this side unless you go to the extreme north. Yeah, or south. Okay, so this is the field we're doing. I don't see any growth. That's interesting. Close enough. Let's go. Why didn't that work? There we go. Okay, that was odd. Probably isn't doing my boom any good driving through all those trees. I'm guessing I'm going to have to come part way back again. But we're good. I kind of want to empty the tank a bit more because we won't get all of what's in the IBC at the store in this yet. I didn't notice us get a message. I wasn't paying attention. There we go. Okay, that is probably enough to empty the tank at the store. I don't have a special lined up for tomorrow night. Don't really have a topic right now. Although I could do with some sleep because we had the former foster kids over for 3 days. And we're not as young as we used to be. Really nice in there. Okay, and that's done. So that's really nice effect. Okay, that door doesn't open. Oh. What's that? That's the that's Farm Sim 17's pricing screen. Or no, Farm Finances. What have we got over here? Same again. Something else. Jump. Okay, yeah, that's quite a little more atmospheric than the old, rather flat stores. That doesn't help, but yeah, back on the road. Now I'm not sure about anything else, but I have on my private farm noticed that the transporting contracts do pay out more the more you do them. At least the more you do for the same person. I think the first one I did came in at about 500, and then I was offered exactly the same mission for exactly the same number of goods transported, and 700. So the pay gets better by the looks of it. I may keep doing transport missions for that person to see how much more I get paid and whether I have to transport more eventually. At the moment I'm just transporting 2 pallets, so I'm using the little tipper trailer we have on this farm to do it. Well, that's not a road. The road's ahead of us. How are we doing on gas? This thing doesn't use gas. Okay. Very good. Right here, go around 13 and back to the farm with the fertilizer spray. I will need to spray field, I think it's 11 one more time. Yes. Field 12 is at least good for everything but weeding. It's 6:40 late in the day, so I may look for another job local to where I am. Harvesting jobs are good because you harvest the stuff, you ship it to market, and don't stop when it says you've completed the job, because you're usually about 5% short on the harvest and the shipping. And anything you take over job completion, you get paid for, or it's treated as you get to sell it. So it's kind of a bonus for harvesting an entire field. Okay, we're back at the chickens and still no eggs. Okay. Still, I'm thinking I can unload this thing. Oh yeah. Oops, forwards. This fully loaded, or fully laden in here. Are we on the tank? Yes. Lower the tank, release the tank, move forward a little, lower the weight. Turn the engine off. Let's have another look at contracts, and oh, I didn't get paid. Thank you for paying me. So yes, so this is going from the harbour to the shop. It may be 1 or 2 pallets, don't know. But once I've done that, he will pay me more for doing that job again. So, harvesting field 6. What you got there? Sunflowers. I don't have a sunflower header, so I'll have to rent. harvesting field 2. It's got potential. Where is field 2? Oh, down there. I kind of want 7, 8, 9 or 10. Maybe 20. Maybe, what's 13? Needs lime. 13 is fertilized, okay. So 7, 8, 9 or 10. Any jobs on 7, 8, 9 or 10? Nope. Supermarket to the sugar mill, okay. Sowing 7. Sowing 9. Baling 10. Sowing 7, sowing 9 or baling 10. Okay, that didn't take. That didn't take either. Okay, both those missions vanished. That's one of the bugs that's out there. So I guess we'll step out, we'll step back in again. No, those 2 missions are gone. Okay, no worries. 7 o'clock at night. Time is ticking on. Let's get out the tractor. So, what status is the fields in that we own? It's so difficult to tell, but that may be close to the last. And that is growth step 0. I'm going to say that's growth step 2. There's another level of growth before it's going to be ready to harvest. So, exit. Oh, we're just going to have to sit it out because I don't have a house. So, let's wander around the corner, see if we can see the sunset. Yes, over there. Bye bye, sun. Oh, there's the moon. So if you have a house at 8 o'clock, you can walk into the house and say, yeah, I want to sleep. And it'll then say, do you want to sleep somewhere between, I think it's 2 and 8 hours. And the time will elapse, and then you wake up and it's whatever you selected hours later. And it basically speeds up the time lapse to 5,000. Manually you can only get up to 120. Those have grown. Looks like there might be some weeds in there. Some weeds on the edge of the field. Oh, there's definitely weeds in lavin. So very, very, very tiny strip of weeds along the right there. A little bit over there. So we're definitely going to have to do those. What's the growth stage on that one? It's entirely possible that could be a mute. Oh, we got a message. Yes, midnight. Midnight. Not a sound from the... Oh, go back. Okay, fertilised 100%, and then when I walked over there, fertilised 0. So, what are we going to need? We're going to need the doits in the morning with the herbicide to run field 11. We're going to need the harvester on this field. Could check the animals while we're sleeping. Or while we're not sleeping, should I say. This is down. Still no eggs. Oh, okay, yeah. We started off with 10 hens and 1 rooster. Guessing you need a rooster to reproduce. We should. Ah, no more. Okay, let's slow the time down, because I don't think that's true. So it is now trying to... Oops. So there are no eggs there. There is some wheat there, so I do need the shovel again. Let's get the Valtra running. And we'll go and clean that up. Universal bucket, let's go, let's raise that because the ground is so uneven around here. So that's that done. That's the chickens fed again. Let's step back, we'll lower that down. We'll park on somebody else's land and we'll turn the engine off. Jump out because we more space for pallets for chickens. You've got to be kidding me. What's the issue? This area here, empty. Okay, let's go move those IBCs and seed bags away from the chickens then. Push these further out. Push that one over too. little bit further away. There is nothing on this area. I'll give it another sweep, see if there's any other issues here. Oh, that is a big fat nothing. Oops. Yeah, that wasn't so good. I might push that up a bit. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Back the tractor up and drive over here. Put the bucket down and turn the engine off. Jump out. Speed up time. See if we get another message that says there's no room for eggs. Got to be kidding me! Okay, how do we fix eggs? No more space to place new pallets of eggs at the chickens. First 19 chickens. Right, here we go. Oh, somebody suggests restarting the game. I guess we could try that. It's no big deal. So, let's go here. Yes. Save. Quit. Clear. Load. Start. Doesn't hurt to try it. There we go. Okay. That is not the mouse I want. So, step away from the eggs. Speed up time. Okay, it seems like it's trying to place a pallet for eggs every 30 minutes. That says 3 hours 15 minutes. I thought we were... yeah, maybe not. What would that put us at? 7, 8 o'clock-ish. So, no room for eggs. Ding. Sun's coming up. Still no room for eggs. This is ridiculous. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Analyze the fields. We have wheat, we have canola. The wheat is ready. There's no weeds there. That's not ready. That has weeds. Sorry, too far. So if we run that round with the herbicide and then run it round with the fertilizer, we can be harvesting that. Let's do that thing. Jump in the Valtra. Oh, yeah, no quick look mod. Raise the bucket. Let's move this over here. Okay, now where's my tipper? Over here. I've got wheat in there. Huh. Probably don't have enough room to dislodge the wheat into the chicken pen. Yeah, not really. Okay. We're gonna... Actually, I don't have to worry because that field's wheat. I'm full. So, you need to get going. Oops. The engine. Select the bucket in the back. Let's go and fill this thing up. Fertilizer first. Oops. I think that's lime. It's all hidden in the grass, so I can't tell. Nope. Okay, let's get this out in the field. He goes, and we then need this thing. What are we set for? Straw. Looks like it. That would be another nice thing that they could add to this, is to... Oh, I think you can tell. I'm an idiot. this point this is a plus 50% yield, because this field still needs to be ploughed. Wondering if it's a good idea to plant both fields with the same thing. Because they don't have a silo to fit partial trailer loads in. And that trailer has about 500 litres in it of wheat. And it's a long way to the store to sell just 500 litres of wheat. And the same's true of canola or any other crop, really. Tree. Has finished their task. Okay. I also have a couple of trailer loads of straw again. At the end of this field we'll go and switch the fertiliser for herbicide, then finish off that field again. And that one there. You're not finished. You've got a tree in the way. Oh, the other restriction apparently with a weeder is you can only use it through first and second stage growth. So once your crops reach third stage, you can't weed the ground. So while you have to pay for herbicide, it's possibly the less problematic issue, because it deals with weeds in all states, whereas weeder will only deal with weeds in first stage of weed growth and first two stages of crop growth. Herbicide is universally function. So unload that, go over there, load the herbicide. don't think that field's too big for what we have, so we'll be good for this. Seriously. Ground contouring. It's a thing. So I'll move back over to the left, and then we'll stick this back on a worker while we go and finish or do the next 2 rows of harvesting. Start. Forward, let's go. There are weeds on the end of this field. There's none in the middle. Oh, I don't know why that is, but we can't do anything about them now. Did I turn the harvester on? No, I didn't. I'm an idiot. Nearly lost some wheat there. So once the crop is ripe and ready to harvest, you've locked in your fate. You can't get rid of weeds, you can't add fertilizing states. Make it part way back, and we'll have to bring the trailer over. I have a feeling this is the harvester that you've got starting on Goldcrest. It's been so long since I did that. The case 1455, which was modded into the game this week, and the New Holland, what was it? The New Holland that looks like a Ford rather than the newer models. I think that's still in the game. Tractors, New Holland, T5. No, we don't have the whatever it was that you used to get. We've only got the new New Hollands. Keep an eye on the tank fill. Still no eggs. Well, I must say I'm at a loss of what to do about the chickens. Maybe I need to wait until we get 1 round of breeding done. So we have 11 chickens and 1 rooster, and then go again and see if there's oh jeez! That's the problem with a harvester this big, you just wipe out the entire crop. That's open. Let's go get a tractor. That one there. you are done. Oh, fold. Start the engine. Yeah, that would be a plan. The upper side unloaded. Put the tractor over here. Move forwards. Lower the weight, turn the engine off. Done with that tractor for now. Turn that in, turn that on, and let's keep going. Try not to destroy too much crop while we're doing this. Having the vehicle status, I think, at the top left hand side is a little bit of a pain. It used to be in the panel at the bottom right, but you can lose that very easily with the sky. It's not exactly ideal. Maybe I'll do my Sunday special as a starting from scratch. I haven't done that yet. See what the difference is. My personal farm, I started easy. Because I wanted to experience that, then decided I'll keep the farm going for as my own amusement. While I got access to the game on Monday, I was invited to join Arthur's farm so that we could test out multiplayer, which we did. So I didn't do my own stream on Tuesday, and on Monday. By Tuesday, Estancia Lapacho was available, so I figured out, well, we might as well start my stream on that one. We should get all the way down. What I'm hoping is we don't get part of the way back, because that'll put the auger on the wrong side. Oh. Bits. Don't miss bits if you don't have to. speed the time back up again. Since really all we're doing is waiting for the 2 fields we have to grow stuff. We've been hovering around about 50,000 for a while now. So I kind of figure we'll start making money now since we've got, at least as far as I can tell, all the basic equipment we need. We'll probably have to do more later, but I'd like to start building up a supply of money. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that the chickens are going to be any use for that. Maybe I need to Google some more on chickens' inability to lay eggs. We've still got another hour before the first chicken breeds. And then hopefully we'll be looking at eggs. Oops. Okay, that's just egg production messages. Oh, nearly full. We are going to get to turn round. Which is brilliant. Proceed. 6,100. Would like a bigger harvester, but obviously until we get bigger fields it's really not. Okay. Unload, find a tractor. We got enough room for 1,200 litres in here. Where having a silo is kind of handy because you can drop it straight in there and be back, but no silos, so we're going to have to sell this stuff immediately. Okay. Close that up and we'll turn the engine off now. Okay, where are we going? Money, 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 money. That one. 580, 690 at the harbour. Okay, guess we're going to the harbour. Still no room for the chicken pallets. Of course I could just let them breed for a while and then sell the profit. The chickens will make money eventually, even if you have to sell them for chicken, as opposed to eggs. Go round. It's a nice field of weeds there on the right. What's this? Okay, early morning mist. Good grief, this tractor needs to be cleaned. Oh well. Okay, train crossing ahead. No trains. Go. Oh, what's that? No more space for eggs. Wages 160, and we want to go in here. Straight ahead. So what about 4,000? Ooh, 5,500. Yeah. Could be better, could be worse. There's an exit there. Let's go for that. Oh, that's awkward. Well, selling all the wheat will put us over 60,000. Maybe close to 65. No, I don't think we have that much on the field, or left on the field, should I say. there's still some light bleed through on the trailer. You see the turn signal on the bottom of the trailer. There's no reason that should be there at all. Unless there's holes on the side. Still no more space for pallets. We must have 11 chickens by now. Anyway. Okay. Didn't park the tractor close. Well, didn't park the tractor close enough by a long shot. There we go. Turn the tractor off. Nope, backwards. Unload the green tank and off we go again. Day number it is at the moment. Ow! Oh, I was going to check on the chicken breeding status. Do we have 11 chickens? Was that 7:45 when we get the first chicken? Do that when I get to the end. Penny miles. We have 11 chickens. The last chicken happened less than 15 minutes ago. Still have no eggs. So, chickens are making more chickens, but they're not making eggs. Not sure how that works out. Well, I suppose if the eggs are fertile, then You're not making eggs to sell at market. So I am wondering how the low rate of income is going to affect those YouTubers who like to experience many farms over the course of a year. Farm Sim 17, it used to be a case of, okay, well, we'll get some sheep and we'll experience some sheep. Yeah, we'll get some cows as well. Do a bit of logging, grow a few crops, experience the new crops, and frankly, cotton, you need to be quite wealthy to afford all the cotton equipment. And there really is no point in producing cotton on a field this big. Because your vehicle leasing costs or whatever is going to outweigh any profit you make from the crop. Oats fits in quite nicely with the existing wheat and barley. They're all pretty much the same flavour, you know, different flavours of the same result, same seed usage, same harvest. Come on. But potatoes are an expensive business to get into. Sugar beets are possible, but they are a high workload crop. But you can do them with pretty much with starting equipment if you don't do anything else. Sugar cane's another expensive crop to attempt. Because all you can really afford is a single row harvester, and even, you know, the dual row harvester doesn't remove crop that quickly, and you have to follow it with the trailer. So if you're playing solo, you have to have a worker running the harvester, and you have to be sat behind it in a tractor and trailer rig. Trailers are expensive. Sugar beet produces a huge volume of crop. And even with realism on the line, it's still, that's a lot of work one person has to put in to harvest the crop. Planting's not a big deal. Fertilizing, it's the same as any other crop, but that harvest can take hours for one person to do. With 2 or more people you can get the work done. Ooh, this is going to be close. Ding, done. Yeah, with 2 or 3 people you can have one person hauling while one person's harvesting. It can still be a job and a half. I guess cotton could be as well, could be considered to be as such. However, if your field can't produce a couple of bales, is it worth doing? Because you've got to buy that harvester, you've got, and there's no small harvester option with cotton like there is with beets and potatoes. Okay, that's full again. Where are we going? Are we still going to somewhere? 593, still going to the harbour. Harbour has a good price. Let's export the wheat. Whee. Oh, crikey, that canola's growing fast. What state is that in? Good grief, that's almost ready to harvest. I am going to alter plant growth, slow. Back. Well, let's get this tractor on the road again. Yeah, I'm not sure how you're supposed to do this with on anything but slow growth. It's one of the reasons I like seasons, because it does take its time. What do I want? Refill. Really, I only stuck that in the ground this morning. Well, we ran herbicide and what was it? Is this the one with the tree on the side? Yes, it is. Let's drive across the field. Do the other side first. Let's raise the boom enough that it's not ripping through the crop. Okay, you're there, and get out of here. Seriously? Go back. Is that fully... Oh, that's fully... thing stuffed. Okay. That was a little premature then. We don't need that. Go back and still the chickens aren't producing eggs. This is getting silly. Time 9 o'clock. Let's look up something else. Chicken guide. Okay, this is singularly okay, chickens of the same colour breed the fastest. If you slow down the rate of reduction by putting different chickens in the pens. Doesn't tell me how to fix the chickens not producing eggs though. Cars, because all the cars go round in a circle. If the train comes, they all bunch up. Everyone's saying the solution is wait and it will fix itself. So, with any luck, another 5,500. Okay. Seriously, nothing there about how to fix your chickens. They all just say, hey, just sit back and wait, and eventually they'll lay some eggs for you. So, fun, fun, fun. Switch back to the Twitch channel. There we go. Frustrating though. Did I go too far? No. That field's growing. One of the achievements is to breed 100 chickens. The coop I've bought only has room for 100. Ah, look! Chicken eggs! It's a tiny little box of chicken eggs over there. That's awesome. Okay, so leave the chicken eggs alone and eventually they'll start growing chicken eggs. So, where's the information on my chickens now? So, there's 2 litres of chicken eggs. I have 11 white chickens, okay. That's fine. I need to switch back to the harvester again. So, down the row, up the row, and this field should be done. Really unlucky, I'll have a little strip of wheat on the edge of this field that the harvester won't pick up. So I'll need to make a third trip down, but hopefully 2 and we're done. We're up to $64,000. So if we can get another full trailer out of this, that'll put us up to 70, which means we're actually making some money, I think. Check on that. I do like the way those plants bend. I think might be wide enough. Oh, that's very close. I don't think I'm going to make the edge at some points. Just up ahead. We're going to have to come back again. I think potentially it's possible, but you have to be really, really accurate. Like here. This bit here is pretty much all contained within the bounds of the header. There's a little bit of bleed outside, but at this point we actually have whatever it is, 4.2 meters of crop width. Okay, that tractor and trailer's in the way, so I'm going to have to turn out. At this stage, I really don't want to waste anything. Okay, we did manage to get all of that. Let's drive down to the strip in the middle. Okay. Suck. We are close to done. Extend the pipe. Turn off the front. Yep, jump to the tractor. Start the engine. Okay, this should all fit into this tractor. We are not going to have $70,000 at the end of the wheat sale. I think we might have 76 by the end of the straw sale. So, wheat. Where do we take wheat today? Next animal in less time. Still to the harbour. Okay. Should be done. Obviously, bring in the auger. So, still got the bug on closing up the harvester. Supposedly if you log out, log back in again, the harvester will fold. Hi CMOS, how you doing? There are some frustrating things about it. It does have its teething problems, but for the most part, it's quite enjoyable. I think it's definitely going to be more of a challenge than Farm Sim 17 due to the lower income. They've kind of altered the setup so crops are the way to go. I'm doing good. House is quiet now. The former foster kids have gone home to their mum. So we have peace and quiet. We'll get some good sleep tonight. So have you been playing Farm Sim 19 yet, CMOS? Nah, I crashed last night. So I did a little bit of streaming, but it got to the point I just can't keep my eyes open. I'm done. And it's what, 10 after 9 here. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I haven't had any in-game crashes. But first time I loaded the game in, I think I was straight into Arthur's multiplayer stream where we were testing out multiplayer. And the W and S keys are supposed to be forwards and backwards, and nothing happened when I pressed them. I ended up completely resetting the controller. The game controller mappings, which at least gave me the keyboard working. I then remapped all of the game controller settings, so at least I have a steering wheel, I have the front loader arms working, and in general things like the tipping, auger out, turn on equipment, that's all mapped. 4,600, and that was working fine. I mean, it makes the game playable. I can't use a telehandler because I can't map the secondary functions like boom extension. I can't use any of the logging cranes because the secondary functions aren't available, and even the mouse won't map to the secondary functions. Not that I like that, incredibly less than ideal, but it would be nice if they worked. And then, what was it? Friday evening? Game controller mappings reset for no apparent reason. I loaded into the game. Oh, W and S don't work again. Okay, let's remap all the game controller keys. Although, since I'd done it once, it was easy to get it done again to my preference. And it didn't take quite so long to remap all the game controller buttons to what they needed to be. But that's frustrating. But the way I'm set up at the moment, I can do most things. We did find an issue with the chickens earlier. They've gone for about 24 hours not being able to lay eggs. And then I think the breed rate was 1 every 24 hours as well. I only have 10 of them. But as soon as I got my first new chicken in the pen, they started laying eggs. So we now have egg production. Don't know how much egg production you get before you have to go out and sell them. This is all a learning experience. But, we're breeding chickens. I now have 1 chicken bred on my way to the breed 100 chickens achievement. So that could be a while with the number of chickens I have. I was reading that the different colour chickens, if you want your chickens to breed fast, buy all the same colour. And if you want them to breed a little bit slower, then buy different colours. Now I don't know if that has any effect on how much eggs they produce, but producing new chickens is good because eventually you can sell them to make room for more. Yeah, it's frustrating, I would say. That's it. But yeah, once the chicken, once they have that bug fixed, I won't have to remap the controller every 5 minutes. Not really. And hopefully I'll be able to map the secondary functions. I think the problem I have was, it's a twofold problem. I have the SATEC side panel, but the steering wheel broke within 3 weeks of me getting it. They sent me a replacement and that broke within 3 weeks of me getting that one. So I bought myself a G27 because I decided I'm not going to mess around with I'm not going to mess around with brand new steering wheels every 3 weeks, especially not since it takes them 2 weeks to send it to me. So you're kind of sitting there waiting for a steering wheel for 2 weeks. It arrives and it doesn't, 3 weeks later it doesn't work. But the SATEC steering wheel has 2 joysticks on it, and my steering wheel doesn't have any joysticks on it. And I think that's the problem. It's the FarmSim 19 assumes you've got the SATEC side panel, so you must have a SATEC steering wheel as well. So I will map all of the secondary functions to the non-existent joysticks that you don't have, and that causes my problems with walking and trying to use a telehandler. That is really not straight, is it? One more attempt. Let's get that straight and go. Should I steer the other way? I should steer the other way. Okay, that's kind of straight. I want to drop the trailer there. Yeah. Well, I didn't know at the time, but yes, the Cytec side panel is apparently very unreliable. Not that I found the side panel to be unreliable. The steering wheel, cheap crap. So, yeah, over the weekend I created a small sort of bench, if you like, about 4 or 5 inches off the floor, and I connected both of the non-working Cytec side panels to it, and the kids were playing with them. Or, yeah, the steering wheels, sorry. So, it's something to do with completely useless steering wheels of poor quality. But as you see, everything else is working quite well. Not necessarily ideal, but yeah, I can do sufficient to have fun. Let's see, 9/6, so Central European time for you, or the equivalent. And that's all I really want. I mean, it's gonna take me a while to actually make enough money to do anything serious or seriously different from what I'm doing at the moment. I did some logging yesterday, Thursday, I did some logging, and that was a challenge. I bought the log fork, which is as bad as Farm Sim 17's log fork. It's the stole with the 2 lower prongs and 1 upper, and it has difficulty grabbing hold of anything. Apparently it has a sticky point, but I couldn't wedge a tree trunk far enough into it to get to the sticky point. So everything just flipped out of it. I ended up chopping the trunk small enough that I could pick them up, and discovered the hand tool physics are quite good. Now I can't map the rotate what you're holding stuff because issues. However, I picked up logs, I ran with them, I hit them against adjacent trees, I hit them against the edge of the tractor trailer that I was putting them in, and I did not drop them until I pushed the button to say, yeah, I want to drop this now. Which is a vast improvement over 17, where you would pick up a log and it would fly 20 feet away. So I was using the tipper trailer to put the logs in, and then the other amusing thing was, okay, I get the logs to the sell point and I try and tip them out of the trailer, and it says, yeah, you can't tip stuff here because you don't own the land. It's sort of, really? Okay, how am I supposed to get a bunch of logs out of the trailer without tipping them? And it turns out that there's exclamation points right next to the cell box. So like here, there's a cell box in the middle there. There's a little exclamation point at the sawmill, and if you walk up to that, it works like the vehicle repair sell point at the store. And yeah, you click on the interact with this box, and it sells the wood straight out the back of the trailer. Which, okay, that's easy. What's that? Oh, that's income. Yes, we like income. still need to buy myself a sprayer, because this stuff is getting very, very dirty. As you can see, no cleaning. At least there's no hoof prints on the chair. I think one of the tractors I use on law folds, when the tractor gets really dirty, there's a boot print on the chair. I don't know how it got there, because I think it's pointing forwards. It's sort of, why would somebody be climbing on the chair looking out the front window? Well, I bought the what was it? The service shed, so I can change the wheels on my tractors, which are quite convenient, because I've pretty much picked the most remotest point on the map as far as the shop's concerned, and most of the sell points. Box of eggs there. We'll have to investigate that in a while. We'll grab the straw first. Ooh, what's that? Lower the pickup. Down the Chevron and so I think the first time I had this, the first harvest on this field was barley, which was ready to go as soon as I bought it. And it took about 3.5 strips of straw to fill the trailer up. And 60% bonus, I'm filling it up a lot quicker. Need to revise my estimate. We could end up at 80,000 on this field, or from this field. That's over 50% of the trailer. I also like on contracts that you can, if you take a harvesting contract, or a baling contract for that matter, do the entire field, fill the trailer, or yeah, even with the baling job you have to fill the trailer, take every last piece to the store, and you get to 100%, probably 5% early. So you only actually have to do about 95% of the field to get paid for the contract. But any excess you take to the sell point is money in your pocket, so it's almost a bonus if you complete the field and then if you fully complete the field. But everything else for contracts, you have to buy the seed, you have to buy the fertilizer, you have to buy the herbicide, or supply your own fertilizer. Obviously manure doesn't cost you anything, but you have to supply it, and the cost of that is included in the job. So the more efficient you are with your lanes up and down the field, the less product you'll use to get the job done. And if you lease equipment, so let's say you lease a tractor and fertilizer, you within the contract you lease their tractor and spreader or whatever. You still have to pay for the fertilizer that you put in it, and every fertilizer, all the fertilizer that's left over after you completed the job that's still in the machine, you get refunded, but you don't get paid for what you use. You only get paid for what you didn't use that was still in their equipment. So people feel good about that, but really it's nothing to feel good about. You're just being reimbursed for what you didn't use but you paid for. So what was I forgot what I was going to look up. I was going to look up something here. Oh, that's right. I was going to look up here. So day 1 we spent $1 million. Day 2 we spent 104,000. We've already made 18,000. So we're actually making money now for the first time. Back. Yes. And now we're into decision making time. Do we save up and buy a field? Do we save up and pay the loan back? Or do we save up a significant amount more and buy the house so we can sleep overnight? Because that's also a thing. Well, buying a field means I get an increase in income. And sometimes that's kind of the way to go. Having a house is a convenience because it means you spawn at the house rather than where the map would place the house if you were playing easy mode. And you can sleep at night, which puts the rate of time passage at times 5,000 while you're asleep. So you really skip the night. It's kind of like playing Seasons on FS17, where it gets to 8 o'clock at night and you say, yep, want to sleep, and you sleep until the morning. Very convenient. For me, I have to sit around for sort of 4 minutes for 8-hour passage of time. Kind of figuring I probably have to clear at least half this field before I let another tractor loose with a plough. And full. That's kind of what I'm thinking. The reason I did the logging yesterday was to make room for the chicken coop. I just haven't looked to see how expensive the fields around this area are. They're quite large fields, I think. I mean, my private non-stream farm is Ravenport, since we're also playing that with Arthur as well. And on that one I took the easy start, and that gives you 4 tiny fields around a farmhouse and a lot of decorations. I think that's the thing that this map is missing, is normally the house is positioned just behind the pink tree, to the left of the pink tree from where we're looking. There's a swimming pool at the back. There's a garage to park your vehicle in the middle there, which is on the far side of the house if the house was there. And there's a big concrete patch at the back, which is where the barn is. But the only thing they've deleted is the house and the barn. And the barn is now placeable, so you can place that barn all over the map. And the house is placeable, but the swimming pool and the garage should probably be decorations. And they're not. Whereas on Ravenport, you've got a house, you've got a couple of sheds, and a what is it, a trailer, as in trailer park trailer, and they're all unusable, but they make the place look, you know, livable, lived in, if you like. And they're all dotted around your farmyard. You can sell them, and I think one of the sheds, I took the shed out and put in a workshop, so I could repair my tractors and what have you, switch the wheels for narrows. And that's kind of a convenient thing, because they're a decoration. The land underneath them's already flat, so it's, yeah, very easy to just sell the building and buy a replacement building. But if you wanted your farm somewhere else, you can build the farmhouse, you can build a trailer, you can build a couple of barns that are not usable as anything to store stuff in. But it kind of makes it look interesting, and I think the swimming pool on this map should have been a placeable decoration. So up at the back there, where I'm building my farm up from, I could build the big mansion, and I could have the garage, and I could have a swimming pool. But the only decoration on this map is the what is it, the sandcastle. You don't even get the trailer and the other barns that you get on Ravenport. So buildings are map dependent. When you have a building, it has to be defined as usable on a map. Which may make a challenge for the modders, because how do you mod something to a map and then make it available for every single map? Because there's no way for me to add those buildings that aren't, the decorations from Ravenport cannot be used on this map. Field 17 is huge. Field 10 is a possibility. Field 9 is a big field. So that would be big returns. Buying that. Okay. to move the harvester before long soon. 2 as well. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that maybe the Giants provided decorations are map specific, but mod decorations are going to be universal, so they're available on every single map. Because otherwise, like you said, you know, creating a... Yeah, I don't know. You can't get at the in-game assets. It's, or at least I don't think you can edit the in-game assets. You would have to extract them and then make a mod. But a mod can be edited. But that then even then, if you have to create an asset and then define which maps it's usable on, that could be a problem, because you can only define it for the maps that are available. And if someone creates a new map after you've created your mod, you either have to go back in and edit your mod to allow it on that map, or nobody will be able to use your mod on that map if you know, which will limit your exposure, if you like, as a modder. Something as a computer programmer, I always like to have a default setting. So this is globally available if there's nothing that overrides it. So at that point I can have override codes going on, but if someone creates a new, let's say, inventory record, the inventory record will always default to something. You don't have to remember to add a flag to trigger an external function. It will trigger that external function if it's part of the group. And you can change it to not trigger that function specifically on that part, on that inventory item. So it's a sort of, setting something up does not involve setting a lot of other things up unless you need to set a lot of other things up. They should default to something. But I guess we'll see when the first decoration mods start coming online. And building mods for that matter. Let's unload that. Let's pull that up. So for buildings, see, all of the animal pens are usable on every single map, so no issue there. Miscellaneous, once again, I think these are all, oh, that's 4,500. I should buy one of those. You got water station, the wood chipper, the workshop, and the thing what cleans your tractors. Silos, grain, large silos, silo extension. What does this actually do? That's 200,000 litres, and that's an extra 100,000 litres, and it must be placed near your farm site. Is that 100,000? Yeah. And then you got the hayloft, which is 250,000 hay and straw. Just like the old Farm Sim 17, you've got your silo. Does that tell you the capacity? No. Pack them as full as you want. Back up. Escape. Decorations, we've just got the sandcastle, but if you look on Ravenport and Felsbrunn, there are other decorations. The sheds, these are the standard sheds, but you've also got this shed extra as part of Estancia Lapacho, and I don't think that shed is available on any of the other maps. Maybe it is, I don't know. And then farmhouses, you've just got this big, villa. And once again, I don't think that's available on any of the other maps. Maybe I should try that out when I start another map. I need to start a start from scratch map just to experience that. I'll probably do that on Fellsborough, and I'll make sure I add all of the mods. Sugar cane is now a standard, so it's not like Estancia Lapacho has any functional stuff that's different from any other map now. So I'll see if by adding Estancia Lapacho mod to one of the other maps, whether that barn or vehicle shelter or whatever it is suddenly becomes available on the other maps, or whether it is specifically tagged as Estancia Lapacho only. And the same with the villa. Yes, this map came out on Tuesday. I think they released them about 2 o'clock Eastern, so maybe a bit earlier. Because obviously Giants are Central European time as well. But yeah, this map came out on Tuesday, along with the Deutz 661 and that case harvester and header. So since we'd already played Ravenport with Arthur on Monday, I figured, okay, we'll do I'll do Estancia Lapacho as my stream farm. And included the Deutz and the case as implements that I also added. The Deutz is fairly limited because you can't put front loaders on it. It's got a good selection of tyres. It's only got the single engine option, so it's about 140-ish horsepower. This tractor's the Valtra N. I've got it upgraded to about 203 horsepower, which is the biggest engine it has, which is improvement over 17. 17 it was 145. 165, 180 I think, and for 90 it's 145, 165, 203. It has a front loader, it has a good array of tyre options, and it has a 3-point hitch on the front. Problem with the multiplayer we played with Arthur on Friday, he bought 2 smallish tractors. They don't have a front 3-point. They are capable of doing 3-point hitch. The front loader. Good selection of tyres, but that lack of the front 3-point meant that you couldn't run the Kuhn spray. Or you could run the spray, but you couldn't run the auxiliary tank on the front of the tractor, which limits your capacity somewhat. else was there? He also bought tractors with about 110 horsepower and then bought equipment that needs 140 plus. So I was trying to seed the field they'd bought, and I seeded down the field and thought, okay, that's working. I turned it around and tried to seed up the field, and the tractor ran out of power. So what I ended up doing was turning the seeder off, driving up to the top of the field and then seeding on the way down. That kind of worked. But of all the small tractors, I think the Valtrein is probably the most flexible. It's got the narrow tyres, the standard and the wide. You can run wheel weights on the standards and the wides, and it might have double tyres as an option as well. Can't remember. I've only bought the standard tyres and the narrows. They don't have wheel weights. They don't have wide tyres for it. But I can swap between standard and narrows for no charge at the workshop. Actually, the store doesn't charge you any extra for switching the tyres either. So 177, 178. One more load will put me on 179 in a bit. So we will be over 80,000 when we finish this run. Felsbrunn I thought was included. Felsbrunn and Ravenport were the included maps. Estancia, Lapacho. I think we expected that to be a couple of weeks before they got that in, but that was released on the first official day. Then Wednesday, I think it was, we got the round bale pickup trailer, which everybody had noticed during sort of the early release for the streamers and YouTubers that there's no round bale pickup trailer. That's a big problem. Because when you're starting out, you can't afford big equipment. You need about 200 horsepower to run a square baler and a square pickup trailer, and it's not so much running the square pickup trailer, it's driving around with the trailer up and down hills with 16 bales on the back. What else did we get? We got the little Hurleyman, but we don't have the T4i, which I on the last Sunday before 19 was released, I started up a Oldstream Farm with Seasons as a sort of a Sunday special, and I decided to play the T4i and was pleasantly surprised at how versatile of a starting tractor it is. We now have the Flegel flatbed straw trailer as well, and the round bale wrapper. Trying to think what else. Go to vehicles, small tractors. There's the Case 1455 was released on Friday as well. Take a look at that. Trelleborg tyres, Nokian communal tyres. You got standards, wheel weights, wides, wide with weights, rear twins, and narrows, and a front loader. But you don't have engine options, so it's 145 horsepower. Deutz and the Hurleyman, 90 horsepower. Don't know how that compares with the Farm Sim 17, but you just have narrow tyres and standards. I'm pretty sure there's no other tractors. No. You've got harvesters. We got the case axial flow 1660 and the header to go with it. Pretty sure I got that. How much is that? 17,200. Okay. So nothing else there. Oops. In here, don't think there's any new trailers. Nope. Auger wagons. There's. I was surprised by that. That's quite convenient. It's only 8,000 litres, but it could make a good seed or solid fertilizer transporter. That's a little bit bigger, 18,000, and adds 11,000 litres to it. So header for the case 14, the case harvester. Corn headers, forage harvesters, potato technology. Was fertilizer. We got the Kavernland tiny thing, 700 litres of solid fertilizer only. Don't think there was anything there. Nope. Pretty sure nothing in mowers. Baling technology we got. This is where most of it came. The Flegel flatbed, the round bale pickup, and the round wrapper. We've seen them before, but yeah, they're now there. Nothing in there. I think that's pretty much all we got. So, a couple of extra stuffs. There's the tractors, yeah. That's still running. Okay, it's coming up to 10 o'clock. And that's over half the field done. So, spin round and pick up that little patch of straw at the top there. Down the next row, and as we pass the barn we'll grab the dudes and put some big wheels on it, or bigger wheels on it, and set it off with the culti plough on this field. Hopefully that'll sort out the needs to be ploughed problem. Oh, I can keep going there. Just keep going there. 23. And done. Okay, let's run over there. Park that there, we'll turn the engine off and we'll sort out everybody else. So yeah, I had to chop down a tree to make room for the chickens. I think I crashed into something I shouldn't have done. Oh yeah. Stuck. Well, that's a problem. And there's a bug that you can't close the harvester even after emptying it, because it still thinks there's wheat inside the cover. I've got this on this farm. I started Ravenport earlier before Estancia Lapacho became available, so unfortunately this wasn't available. I bought the New Holland and that has exactly the same problem. So we did that. Now I need to go and get this tractor and crash into the Deutz and see what physics does. Okay. So, drop the trailer there. And let's go ram a tractor. Oh! This thing has a lot of horsepower, so hopefully that's sufficient to get us out of there. Tree keeps getting in the way. There we go. Okay, you're good. Turn the engine off for a minute while we get this thing out of the way. There we go. Okay, we want to unload the fertilizer. I do like that feature, the ability to unload things. What goes there? The pickup trailer. Okay, so I can put this next to the harvester. So we're kind of done with that for now. A little bit further, we'll drop that. Oops, too far. And this thing has very bright rear lights. That's the other thing I discovered. Oh, I can't go around that way. Okay. Okay, you can repair it, I don't need to. Narrow tyres, rear twins, wide tyres with weights. I bought white tyres for that one, so let's take them because they're free. Jump back in the tractor. Pick up the weight at the front, turn the engine on. Going to jump out and run over here and see what the field tells me. Needs ploughing, needs lime. Oh, that's going to be expensive. Okay. Next thing we need to know, where's the garage? Okay, we have 143 horsepower there. That requires 100, that requires 140. What does it say, 143? Yes, okay, we can run the harrow, we can't, or the deep soil, subsoiler thing. We can't run anything else on the back of that, so let's get back in the tractor. And we want to drop the cultivator off the back. Also known as a power harrow, and the power harrow does not count as a cultivator when it comes to doing jobs. And let's pull that as close to the edge of the field as we can, and we'll set off a worker. Jump back in the Valtra and get this thing on the road and see if... I'm fairly sure I'm going to be able to get back and pick up all the straw before that plough gets to it. Well, I think part of the reason they put the unload feature on some of the equipment is because the sprayer has double function. I can use the sprayer for both fertilizer and for herbicide. Some of the solid fertilizers can be used for solid fertilizer or lime. The small 3-point hitch mounted fertilizer, solid fertilizers cannot be used for lime, just the big toed breedles. But, you know, it would be a bit of a pain if you have to buy 2 sprayers, one for herbicide and one for liquid fertilizer, because obviously, you know, you normally have some left over, and you know, you'd have to run out to a field and just waste it in order to change the usage. But you don't have to, you can just unload it and put the other product in it and go off and do that job instead. And it's quite a nice touch, but it also means that you can now be a little bit more realistic, and once you've sprayed the fields you can unload the sprayer and not leave some corrosive material in a valuable piece of machinery. But the upshot is you can also unload seeders, or in my case the seed hopper that goes on the front of the Kuhn pack. So if you know, it's not a case of, oh well, I'll only fill it a little bit because I want to sell it after I've seeded this field and buy a bigger one when the next harvest comes in. You know, you can fill it all the way up to the top, and as soon as you get to the point where, okay, I can afford a bigger seeder, I'm going to go and buy one, you just unload the seed at your farm, take the seeder back, sell that, buy the new one, bring it back to the farm and load it up again. You're not wasting the stuff. I think I saw someone mention on Arthur's channel that you can't unload a seeder. Oh yes you can, because I tried it and it works. Oh, that's what I needed to look up. I need to check on the repair status of all the equipment. So I put lime under the canola this year, which is why I've got the lime spreader. I haven't seen any more messages for I've got no room to put your eggs, dude. So I guess they we're okay with that for now. doing? 10 to 3. Well, that's almost 3 passes in the time it took me to go and unload the straw cart. Looks like I missed a little patch of straw over on the left. I don't think that's significant enough to warrant a detour. And it's possible to remove the bushes as well, but you have to plough the land and then get a roller and run that over the bushes, or over where the bushes were. The plough removes the bushes, the roller returns the land to what was underneath it originally. Oh. What's that? That's wages. No, 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 no. Okay. I'm thinking that the straw that's now left on the field is less than a cartload. This will put us to 80,000, although we are using up money on the wages. And then maybe we'll buy a spray and clean all the equipment, or at least some of it. I'll put it next to the workshop so you can service the tractor and then clean it. As I said, income is not as good as it was in Farm Sim 17, so you're kind of limited to, I'll have 1, maybe 2 tractors. I got 2 because it means I can set one off on a worker and keep up with the field work, or do some field work while I'm transporting. But at this point, at this stage, the tractors need to be flexible, and you don't want to be using up a load of money doing, I need one with, Later on you have the luxury of, I'll have a small tractor with narrow wheels and the sprayer on it, or hauling the one of the spreaders. And then I'll have a big tractor that I can haul on with wide tyres, that I can haul around the plough and the, that sort of stuff. I'll have a mid-sized tractor that does most of my haulage. I don't have that option at the moment, so it's kind of one tractor needs to be able to do every job on the farm. The AgroStar's a little limiting because it's only got 143 horsepower. Although this tractor couldn't pull the subsoiler and the cultivator at the same time. It's about what is it, 40 horsepower short. But this, you know, the Valtra can haul the cultivator and the seeder together. Is that the train again? Or is that the train going through town here? Okay, that might be the local train. Probably about 1.5 miles from the train tracks in town here. But we still hear that go through. Okay. Wow. Certainly chomping up the field at a fair rate. I may have enough time to do one more run before we eliminate the entire field. And yeah, I did the cost analysis, and frankly, a loading wagon is a lot cheaper than a baler and a bale trailer. Although it doesn't haul as much when you consider a bale is 4,000 litres. However, it does look like, rather than bales being a fixed amount, sell amount, a bale sells for 4 times the price per 1,000 litres. Okay, there's a little bit more back there, but definitely enough to make 80,000. Tractor's getting slow. I think I might pull off the field and take a look at the equipment maintenance status. Could be the trailer, for all I know. You have to maintain all your equipment, but you're not charged a maintenance fee every night, which is nice. It means, you know, you can buy some equipment and hardly ever use it, and that's not a big deal. Okay, equipment, that one there. Front loader for 75. Wow, lots of equipment. That's fun. Seed bag, 99%. How does a seed bag? Oh, there's the Valtra. Oh, the Valtra's down to 59, so might need to think about that. Can't remember what the... I think that's the loading wagon, 64%. Oh, that's right, you can sort. So, Valtra's the worst. Loading wagon. The spray would need a look at soon. That's the loading arms. think those are the cedar. That's the harvester. No, that's the header, that's the harvester. Yeah. Nothing needs to be seen to at the right this minute. Let's take this lot to market. And it's nearly 4 o'clock. Should probably check the status on the fields as well before we go anywhere. That's done, that's done. Don't see anything important there. That's being half ploughed, and that is counting as a plough state. That needs lime. Okay. So once the Deutz is finished, we can put the lime spreader on the back. I think that's... it has the ability to haul that. I'll have to check. Okay, that's the last one. $80,000. Yeah, yes. $740. That's not so great. Okay, back to the farm. Kind of nice that the messages now have a little audible notice as well as just the message appearing, because it's quite easy to miss a message coming up at the top of the screen. Although I still don't like the fact that everything's white at the top of the screen, so when you're looking at the sky you can't read it. Great demand at the sawmill. Okay. What are you demanding? Oh, that stays there. I wonder how long it stays there for. Might be time to chop a tree or two down. Clear out the rest of the area behind that barn. Yeah, I tended to run the glance mod, or at least for the last last year, I've run the glance mod, which pins important information to the top left-hand side of the screen. Whoa, stop. Why am I here? Come off. Okay. Don't know how to rotate the camera view for this. Maybe I've destroyed the field mapping or the key map. There be the chickens. I can zoom in though. I think we can put that there. Escape. Escape. Jump out on the tractor, run it over here. Oh, what's that? Oh, construction cost. Yeah. Okay, that's clean. And this time I got an army surplus Veltra. A nice fetching shade of army green. Okay, one clean tractor. And this goes next to the fertilizer cart. Well, I screwed that up. And that looks about right. Okay, so garage Breedle has no power requirement. That's good. Escape. Yes. Yes. In that case, what I might do is put the seeder on this thing. I'll use the doits to spread the lime. Okay, I want to bring all of that out. It's incredibly light at the front. Move forwards. We'll put this back where we got it from. We'll try and put this back where we got it from. There we go. at the front, so that off. If I can remember which side I put the seed. I think it's that side, under the tree. Well, that was all of that container, so we have one more left. That's done. Put the lid on. And we'll line that up over here on the left. Oh, we got weeds. We can turn that off. So, done with the Valtra. Done with that for now. Oh, you think you're done? I guess you are. And how nice. You plowed up some weeds. Right and left arrow rotates the building. It doesn't rotate the camera view. I'm guessing there's something else that rotates the camera view. So, since we did a subsoil, we don't actually have to cultivate. So while all this equipment looks really good all plugged together, quite frankly you only ever need 2 of them. So do I want to drop that? Yes. Am I going to drop that? No. Yes. Okay, that's dropped. I think I only have 1 weight on the farm too. Back on. Then we'll go and find the lime. Now the nice thing about lime is it comes in crates of 2,000. The bad thing about the lime is you use it up very, very quickly, scarily quickly. I do like how the tractors rev up to fill things, although strictly speaking I'm not sure that would be a thing on a lime bag. There is no way that is enough lime to do that field. Yeah, that is a possibility. I know Control Q and Control... Well, Control Q and Control E are up and down. Yeah, raise and lower so you can put things underground effectively. Okay, that field is now full of weeds, so it's worth running the weeding thing. And I don't have to put narrow tyres on because I really don't worry and care much about running weeds over. I might just take this down to the store and completely refill it rather than take the trailer down. Grief. I'm not even sure we'll make one pass with that amount. Maybe. guess. Too much overlap there. That is done. Almost done. Almost completely done. Completely done. Okay. Let's take a look at stuff. So we have weeds. No, knock out the need weeds thing. Oh, does 11 have weeds? No, no weeds on there. I'm not entirely sure, but I think in one crop, if you spray herbicide on the crop, which we had to when we first planted this field, weeds will not grow until the next time you harvest. Now I'm not sure, I'm not entirely certain on that. So we still need to lime the rest of that. Okay. So what's the great demand for? Wood chips. Wood chips aren't worth anything. And I don't have a chipper. We check that screen. We made $21,000 today. That's awesome, considering we spent 1.2 million the 2 days prior. Chickens are doing chicken stuff. 12 hours, 45 minutes. We have 40 litres of eggs. I don't know how high that goes, must admit. Okay, there's contracts to do. We have been playing 2.5 hours. I think it's time to get some sleep. Anything I need to look at there? Nope. Nope. Oh, that's all. This is nice as well. You can actually remap keys while the game's running rather than having to quit to the main menu and then do it. And that's all the help screen. So, save the game. Thank you for watching. I will probably be on around 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I don't have a special lined up, but I might come up with something in the meantime. I might just do a start from scratch option and see where we go from there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good night, and I'll catch everybody tomorrow. Take care.